Honestly, I don't think it's bad. So, good morning. I'm a bit late because yesterday I was super tired, so I will not show my face. As you can see, I'm making the gingerbread house from IKEA. The instructions are super clear and they are in the inside of the box. So basically, you have your gingerbread cookies, and it comes with all the parts for the house. But then you have to buy two extra things. You can see them on the side. One of them is a decoration kit. Last year I bought my own decorations and it ended up looking super pretty. But this year I didn't want to make like such a big thing, so I just bought the basics, which was the decorations and this baking glue. The baking glue is a life changer. Buy it. Buy it, do not skip it. It is the best invention to make gingerbread houses. One pro tip is to warm it up. You can warm it up with some water, warm water, because as you can see, it is super thick. So I was having some difficulty on squeezing it out. How does it taste like? It tastes like pears for some reason. So it's a very mild flavor. It's not vanilla at all. You can also make your own glue, but I have done it before and it's so messy, and I really dislike it. So right now I'm here trying to pull together the walls and then the ceiling. But as you can see, the baking glue is a life changer. Like, you just like put it on and it sticks. No messiness, nothing. I think it's been the second year that I have been using it, and even though it's a little bit more expensive than regular frosting, I wouldn't do it any other way now. It is so convenient. I think it's because it has glycerin and powdered sugar, so it's like extra fixed, but it dries so fast. So if you're not like going to eat it, because maybe some people don't like the pear flavor, you have to buy it. You have to buy it, and it's a life changer. So as you can see, it took me a little bit of time to get the hang of it and also melt it up. But in the end, as you can see, it was like super easy to place. One of the things I want to tell you is that this video is actually at a double speed. I thought, honestly, that it took me like 10 minutes to assembly. But in reality, it was 30 minutes. So it was 30 minutes of me building this gingerbread house, even having the baking glue. I think gingerbread houses are very deceptive in the sense that it seems that it's an easy thing to do, and it is not. I don't know why, who has branded it as a kid-friendly activity. I wouldn't do it like with kids because it's so messy. Like, even for me it was messy. I had the baking glue on my fingers, like on my shirt. So I wouldn't do it with kids. I think for kids I would recommend more like maybe frosting the cookies. Frosting the cookies is way easier because they can play around with the frosting, and the frosting is way more loose, and if a cookie breaks, it's not an issue. But if one of your walls breaks here in the little house, then you're pretty much done. Like, you cannot, it's very hard to fix a broken wall in a gingerbread house. That being said, once they are like 11, 12, maybe they have the dexterity to do it, so then we're talking. But also, I wouldn't skimp on the baking glue. I stand by that. Like, I know that maybe some frostings are more tasty, but the gingerbread baking glue, it is very sticky and tacky and amazing, so just buy it. Originally I had purchased two houses because usually I ask my husband to make one with me, but for some reason I couldn't find the second tube of baking glue. I really have to look through my cupboards because I know that in May I'm gonna be finding it. So I know it's somewhere, but I'm not sure. So here I'm trying to squeeze out a generous amount because we're gonna make the chimney. The chimney is like, you will see it. I will drop it so many times because it's like my least favorite thing to do, because the parts are tiny and as well you can break them. But in the end, all worked out. So what I ended up doing, because the baking glue was a bit sticky, was just to squeeze it out first and then just like fix it there and then assemble. So that's another pro tip, which is just to assemble as you go. But it is a chore, people. So it took me a while to get the hang of it. And then finally, I was able to put the parts in which that is like a mount. You will see that I will place it between the two roof tiles, and that little thing has to be between the roof tiles, so that one can break as well. But as you can see, I'm using just like the baking glue, almost like a paste, to put them in place. When the baking glue is warm, it is more fluid. So that was one of the reasons I decided against melting it, because as you can see, I'm not the best builder. So having it being a little bit tacky and thick, it is actually more helpful for me, because I love making gingerbread houses, but I'm the worst person making gingerbread houses. I am not patient enough to use the real frosting. I have tried different recipes, and I learned that, you know what, sometimes store-bought works just as fine. So yeah, so this is me trying to not break the cookies, but you can see that I'm pushing them because it's so hard for me. And even though I'm having fun, I was like listening to a podcast on my tablet. My husband was watching some YouTube videos. We're having a blast, but trying to fix those things, it's hell. So finally I found a way to work with it, and it sort of like was fixed, but then it will fall. You will see like it. I keep like going back and forth because I'm like, no, it's like, look, it's about to crumble on one side. So it's like, oh my god, it's falling again. I have to resettle it. So it's like, it's a tradition, but I do not know who had the genius idea to promote it for kids, because this is not kid friendly. And in the end, if you need some extra support, just be generous with your glue. But yeah, it's a whole ordeal. So as you can see, I messed up some of the sides. They had a little bit of frosting, so I tried my best to just remove it. But you know, it doesn't have to be picture perfect. This is like a real house. It's not one of those fancy houses. One of the things that you can see is maybe that my tablecloth looks like a bit dingy, but it's actually very clean. It is because it's old and it's plastic, so when it stains for good. But I'm gonna remove it soon and put the winter one. It's something that I have kept procrastinating, and I think we should remove it. So this is me trying to squeeze a little bit more frosting for the other side. But all that matters is that you put enough just to settle the roof. One of the things that I also have learned is that you should use the sides to support it, but not the long one, the short ones. So you see I didn't use any frosting. It is because you don't need it. And if you use too much frosting, especially on the sides, and especially if it is not like real like baking glue, it will become a slippery mess. I've been there, done that. I've been there trying to fix it on the long things, but it doesn't work out. A few minutes later, I finish up putting a little bit of frosting on the middle, and then this is me trying to fix the chimney. And as you can see, the baking glue is doing wonders. You can see such a pretty stripe on the middle, looks perfect. So all I had to do was to put a little bit extra on the mounting part that you saw, which looks like a bee, and immediately it was just settled in place. I learned my lesson. And then we start with the fun part, which is decorating. My decoration kit, including a lot of this kind of chocolate M&Ms, and also a little bit of snowflakes. Now, I live in Estonia, but I have also been to the US because I was born very close to the border. Unfortunately, here we do not have like theme gingerbread houses. Like I have seen the Target one, the Batman one. Like I know that there are a lot of non-traditional gingerbread houses, but here it is very hard to stray far from the conservative normal gingerbread house, and the decorations follow the same rules. So basically you have your option of M&Ms or snowflakes. Last year I bought my own decorations, so it made up for a more original gingerbread house. I put gummies, I put marshmallows, so it looked like very full. But this year, honestly, I was a little bit tired, so I was like, no, you know what, I'm gonna go with the kit and we're gonna go minimalistic this year. Also, because last year my husband kept eating the decorations, so even though it looked very pretty, like one day one gummy would be gone, I would replace it, the next day it would be the same. So this year I was like, okay, maybe if I reduce the amount of candies overall, maybe that will reduce the amount of candies we end up eating here. So yeah, I changed the rules and it worked quite well. And just to finish the house, I ended up putting some extra sprinkles, and this is the final result. It looks good. See you tomorrow, guys.